right. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Simply Together show. It is the 3rd of December. It's a little bit grey out there, but I don't think it's as cold as it was last week, because last week it was freezing. Emil is in Scotland. What's it like up there?
Yeah, Baltic. Always pretty
cold. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I am hosting today with the lovely Samara. How are you doing, Samara?
Well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. We have got Emil on, who is going to be our guest today, and we've got another guest hopefully joining us in a little while. Before we start, I just wanted to say that the news about Vauxhall Motors closing in Luton is just devastating to some people. I know some people don't care, obviously, but I have got, my brother works there now, my dad worked there, my uncle worked there, 2 uncles worked there. On my children's dad's side, mum worked there. You know, we've got Vauxhall's has been in Luton for over 100 years, and it's closing, and it's going to have a devastating effect on Luton and just jobs and everything else. So I just wanted to put that out there to those who obviously know Vauxhall Motors. Yeah, it's quite sad. It is quite sad. I think we have got Joanne in the background. Wonderful. Okay, right. So Joanne's in the background. Samara's going to talk to Joanne. I am going to have a chat with Emil. So, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. It's been a little while.
Yeah, it has. And it's nice to be on here because I've watched a few times. So, yeah.
Excellent.
It's nice to take part. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, tell us a little bit about you. So, like, what do you do? I've already said you're in Scotland, and it's Baltic up there. So, tell us a little bit about you.
Yep. So I'm a baker. I mostly specialize in vegan baking because I've been vegan for a really long time. I live in Scotland, so I'm living in Edinburgh at the moment with my husband. And I used to work in a small gluten-free bakery up here, but due to ill health, I had to it took me a long time to realise I couldn't do it anymore. So it's been about a year actually since I've stopped working.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, yes. It was just before Christmas. I was like, I cannot do mince pies again. It'll finish me off. So, yeah. Wow. So since then, it's sort of been like quite a slow recovery to kind of feel slightly normal again. But yeah, I've been working on a recipe ebook that I released last month, and that's been going quite well. So yeah.
Oh, let's go back then. So you was a baker. So our Shelley is a baker. Do you class yourself as a baker, Shelley?
Yes, I do.
She's a baker as well. I think that's what she noticed on when I sent her your info. She noticed baker.
Baker was the first thing I noticed because I didn't have my glasses on.
Yes.
I could read that word without glasses.
Shelley does a lot of baking, don't you? And fairs, craft fairs, and all those kind of
creative stuff.
Yes.
Cakes, Rocky Road, budgies.
Oh,
yes.
All the good stuff, basically.
Good stuff, yes.
Oh, that sounds good.
So before you finished work then, how long had you been working in the bakery?
It was about 6 years. I think 6.5 years I was working there because I had some poor health. I mean, I don't mind talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I had be a bit confusing, but I'm transgender, and I had ovarian cancer, so I had multiple surgeries, and luckily no chemo, but then I had complications from my surgeries, so that's sort of what triggered my fibromyalgia that came on, and I've got a couple of hernias kicking about. I'm hypermobile, so I'm very wobbly, so like standing in a bakery all day just wasn't something I could keep doing really, but I didn't want to stop doing what I loved.
Yeah. So what was it like then, as a fibromyalgia sufferer as well? What was it like having to come to that decision that you wasn't going to be able to work in the bakery as such and be on your feet all day long?
Yeah, it was quite hard. I was quite scared of it, I think, because I've done like retail and kitchen work all my life, so that's all I knew. But it's kind of where I feel like it was hard then, but where I'm at now, I'm really glad that I did it. Yeah, and I feel like not just for like physically and also mental health, because I managed back then, it was quite a lot of stress, but all my creativity sort of come back, and it's been quite nice to just do what I want to do, and work with the flavors and ingredients that I like as well. So
because it kind of went from you was posting lots of different things, different cakes, everything that you'd done on Instagram and other platforms, and then obviously it then went to a point where you wasn't doing any, and now it's come back again, you know.
It's so strange because people were checking in and like just checking you okay, because you've gone from posting all the time to pretty much silence for, it was probably like 7-8 months.
Wow.
It was just kind of offline really. But then slowly I was just starting to do things. I had the idea to do my book, and I was like, well, yeah, I can start sharing what I'm up to. And it was amazing that people still stuck around actually. I don't have like a huge following, but I've got a really lovely following of people who are really supportive and patient with me as well, I think, because social media usually moves so fast. It's hard to keep up.
Okay, so I'm not really, I have Facebook, Instagram, that's it, and I don't post things on a regular basis. So if you're not continually doing things, then there's that possibility of then losing people. Or
you'll stop sort of coming up on their feed, and things like reels are really good, I think, for getting new followers and getting your account to turn up on things, but I'm rubbish at planning to do reels. I'll just post a picture of something I've started eating or something. For the book I did an entire photo shoot for that, but usually my day-to-day is quite casual posting.
So tell us about the book then.
So it's a collection of 10 biscuit and cookie recipes. I decided I'll start with that because I wanted my book to be quite accessible for people, in terms of skill level. And I know there's a lot of people who don't bake a lot, but who'd like to. And the good thing about biscuits and cookies is that if you've got a really good recipe and the instructions are clear, like you don't have to worry about decorating it like a cake. Like they tend to come out looking great just as is. So I thought I'd focus on that. So all the recipes are vegan, but because I'm specialized in allergen-free baking, there's like soy-free, nut-free, gluten-free instructions for every single recipe. So if you've got any kind of like allergy, there's like replacements for things. And so because I like it that everyone can enjoy baking and eating food. Well, that's how it should be anyway. So
Shelley just said she's just bought it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to tell you a secret after, Shelley, about sales of their book as opposed to our book. Okay? I'll tell you that after. So how long have you been vegan then?
I think it's about 18 years now, because I was 17 when I was vegan and I'm 35 now. So
oh wow.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And so when I first went vegan, you kind of had to bake because you could not go somewhere and get cake for a really long time. But then a lot of those recipes weren't great, and I think we've now hit a point where veganism's like a bit more like well known. There's things like Flora block butter, so instead of trying to make a buttercream with Vitalite spread, which is floppy and very soft, you can there's like a really good replacement now, so you can do exactly the same sort of thing. So yeah, I feel like ingredients have got better and techniques have got a bit better as well. So
somebody who's not vegan, and I use myself, somebody who's not vegan and is very picky with their food, is it going to taste very different to how it tastes for somebody else who's made it in a different way?
No, I mean, quite a lot of my recipes, I sort of bring in some ingredients and flavor pairings that aren't that common. But I sort of explain in the book that they're optional as well. Like, you can always add stuff that you like. Like, if you can't find a vegan butter, the recipes will work with a dairy butter, because I know that's not accessible for everyone. And sometimes you just want to bake with what you got in your house. So yeah, I mean, I've been told my shortbread's some of the best shortbread my Scottish friend has had ever, and she includes non-vegan in that.
Okay.
So she's Scottish, so I'll have to take that.
That's a real accolade, then, that is, because that's Scottish shortbread, you know, is absolutely wonderful. So the fact that somebody else who actually comes from Scotland is saying about yours, that's brilliant.
Yeah. And I don't release any recipe I'm not happy with. So every recipe I've made so many times because I've sort of developed them all. So yeah, I'm very confident in my bakes, and I've had good feedback so far. So
I have to say, I mean, I went to an event where you was cooking. Oh God, it's quite a few years ago now, wasn't it? When we went down to...
Oh, yeah, the celebration.
Yes, yes, exactly. And you did all of the cooking, or virtually all of the cooking?
Yeah, I volunteered for loads of the savoury stuff, and I did 3 layer cakes for them in the kitchen, with everyone watching me decorate them.
Yeah, exactly. And they tasted absolutely fantastic. Also, I am very picky, and I'm also one of those, and anybody who knows me, you know, my children would say it straight away. It's not that I necessarily don't like something. I might just not like the thought of it, you know. So that's when I've already decided I'm not eating that, because I've decided I'm not eating it. It's not that I don't necessarily like it. I'm trying to change that. That's one of my things that I'm trying to change. But the food that you cooked on each of those days, lovely. I ate them. So it must have been okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've eaten so much vegan food that I know the difference between good and bad vegan food now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely, and I mean, you might notice with my book, like there's like a sweet corn cookie recipe in there, which is a little bit out there. But most of them are, if they've got ingredients you've not heard of, you can sort of substitute them with more common ingredients if you're a little bit uncertain, and that's fine. Like, everyone's got preferences, and you know, people can get anxious about food as well. So I tried to make it that there's a base recipe that hopefully everyone can enjoy, and then you can sort of do your own thing and get creative how you like to. So
fantastic. So Nike, she is another one of our hosts who's not here today. So she's just said she's had a vegan brownie at the Harpenden Food Fair, and it was amazing. So was that, Nike, was that on a vegan stall, or was that on a general stall with vegan options? She might just message that and let me know. Right, so what has Shelley put? You're worried about what it tastes like. Sometimes things are vegan. Yeah, I know. Sometimes things are vegan without you knowing. That's just, you can't. I don't like to be fooled like that. I like to know. I'm a woman of contradiction, so I like to know, but then I might not eat it because it says it's vegan. But I've had more of that over the years, to be fair. Over the years, I've had, yes, he's just laughing. I'm hilarious. I know I am. I have, obviously, Lee and Carolyn, they're my friends. They're your friends. They're not vegan now. They are vegetarian / vegan. but I've spent enough time with them and eaten what they've cooked as well. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Right. Before we bring on our next guest, have you got book number 2 in mind?
Yes, I'm already working on it actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll be a similar format, but it'll be cakes this time. So it'll probably be twice the size because there's a lot to explain. I'm very clear explaining everything. So if you're a beginner baker, you can still pick it up and have a go. So yeah, that's going to be on cakes. And so I'm hoping to do ultimately like 3 biscuit and cookie volumes, 3 cake ones. I'll probably do a fancy dessert one as well. So, but yeah, the next one will probably be out in spring. And it'll be, a digital download just like this one. So I'm excited. Yeah, very excited.
Fantastic. That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Okay, so we've got the info on our ticker.
Yeah.
So people know where they can go. They can purchase it, download it. It will also be on our Simply Deez Events page as well. So don't disappear because we'll get you back on at the end. Okay. But as we will get you back again when you get your next volume out as well.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yes, let us know when that comes out and then we'll get you back again. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Right, so don't disappear.
Okay.
And we'll bring you back. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Samara, you're on mute.
Sorry.
Do you bake, Samara?
Pardon?
Do you bake?
I do with the children.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a baker. Just take that out of my list of things. It's not what I do. I'm good at. I do it because I've got kids. So yeah, that's as far as we go with baking over here. Thanks.
Well, you need to have a look. Have a look at it.
Will do.
Right, I'm going to leave the 2 of you there and see you in a little while.
See you in a bit. Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Samara. How are you?
Thank you. When I heard the name Joanne, I was like, okay, I've never heard of Joanne before, so I'm just going to get to know her and see. But now I've seen the face. I'm like, I know who this is. How are you?
I'm very, very well, thank you. I'm sorry if I sound a bit echoey. I'm at work in London, so I've just literally nipped out of the office to do this. So, but yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for coming. So I know you as Joanne, but if you just want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you, first of all.
Yeah, so Joanne Hudson-Lett. What am I? I'm an artistic director for a music charity, which is based in London. Do that part-time. And then I do lots of projects. As you know, Samara, I'm still involved in Carnival, Luton Carnival. I'm the compere there. Love that every year. I run a youth choir in Bedford in Queen's Park for young kids, which is fantastic. And as you know, Christmas now, so it's a really busy time of year for the choir. And yeah, I'm really kind of like I'd like to do projects that benefit the community.
All right. So obviously, as you can hear, that Joanne's into a lot of, it sounds very community based, what she gets up to. Can you tell us kind of what led you to start with these projects that you're on?
I think I've always been, I'm about passing on skills and giving young people opportunities that they maybe wouldn't get, maybe either due to their background, as in sort of like where they've come from, their class, the colour of their skin, even their sex, even though now people are saying, oh, women's rights are far better now and women have got so many more opportunities. The higher and higher up you get, I've noticed in your career, then I find that there is more misogyny and also sexism. And it's about kind of like, letting women realise that they are good enough. How do you break that glass ceiling? How do you handle things when, you feel that maybe you're not worthy of a particular position because maybe other people might put you down. So it's kind of like about infusing, inspiring. And I guess maybe one of those things where, in all honesty, is it the sort of thing that maybe I would have wanted when I was younger? Somebody just there to say, it's okay. I'm dyslexic as well, like really dyslexic. You know, I've lived in the creative, my world, my jobs have all been about the creative industry, which lends very well to a dyslexic brain. But that, coupled with that, back in the day when I was younger, kind of like, you know, if you're dyslexic, wasn't called dyslexia, you were just maybe, you know, dubbed as being stupid or thick or something like that, and never really given the chance to really explore what that gem is about whatever your neurodiversity is. So yeah, that's it. I think I just want to give people opportunities that maybe I didn't have, and impart wisdom and bring on the next generation.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, you mentioned something in there about women's rights, and I just wanted to ask you, following from that, did you ever struggle to get a job, or did you ever have a difficulty because of your gender, or did you ever face those kinds of challenges in your lifetime of, you know, jobs and things like that?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, you know, especially, so at one point I did work for a large broadcasting organisation. That was pretty tough, very male orientated, and also, you know, remarks about the colour of your skin were kind of like made, and you were kind of like made to feel like it was, well, you know, I'm just making a comment about the colour of your skin, and you know, I'm the one that's insensitive, that's feeling too sensitive, or I'm too sensitive. And it's about, you know, how do we navigate that? How do we handle that sort of thing? It's tough. It is really tough. But you know, if you have a kind of like a really good support group around you of people who champion you and understand your value and your worth, then they can see you through and to the top. You know, I mean, it's taken a lot of steps for me to become an artistic director, and a lot of tears in the past, and a lot of kind of like, am I worthy? Do I know what I'm doing? Am I the right person? But you know, all the people around me are kind of like, come on, Jo, you're amazing. You've got this. You can do this, and that's what, you know, we need. We need to have that really good network around us of people who are our supporters, because there's lots out there in the big wide world who won't be your supporter. So
Yeah.
it's about, you know, balancing that out.
Yeah, amazing. I've seen you lead in the choir. I think, is it the same one?
Yes.
Yeah, I can vouch and say she's very great at that, by the way, guys. For those who have not had the opportunity to see her with the young people, she is great at what she does, and I believe that you are such a light to them young children. I've seen it myself, and with the opportunity that I had with you to watch you, you know, with them. They just adore her as well. Like, you can just see it. I think you're somebody that has, even if it, you know, them situations where even if it's just one person that can change the life of a young person, or one situation that is presented to them that could be life changing, I think you have definitely been that for those children, as someone that's witnessed it. But what would you, if you could say anything to your younger self, because you mentioned that you wish you had, you know, you wish you had what you're obviously putting out now for these young people, what would you say to your younger self now, like if you had the opportunity to do so?
Oh, I think I would say, you're not to worry about what other people think about you. I'm an extrovert, Samara, you know, a natural extrovert, which doesn't necessarily, kind of back in the late 70s, 80s, was kind of like maybe not a good thing, especially if you were Black, because you didn't want to draw attention to yourself. And so you kind of like felt, so I think I felt like I felt like everybody else got the world and I didn't. And I think I would say to my younger self, don't worry, Jo, you've got this. Just let yourself mature. And it's about time. And that's my lesson, I think, kind of things, as long as you are focused, things will happen.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I always like to, especially when it's guests that we've had, you know, in the past, I like to ask that question and throw it out there, because I feel like I've been in a position myself where people have asked me that question, and I think it's been a similar response to you, you know, don't worry, because I feel like as children, especially the children of today, there's been so much more worries and stress inflicted on children because the generations are very different. So I think that's a really good thing to put on. Obviously, it's not just us here. There's obviously going to be people that stream this. There's going to be parents that stream this, which leads to my next question. Is there any openings for the choir? Is there any opportunities for at the moment, or is it quite closed at the minute? How often do you have opportunities for people to join? Like, how does it work?
So the choir's one in Bedford in Queen's Park, and we meet once a fortnight on a Monday, ages 5 to 16-year-olds. And there's always an opportunity. You can always join anytime. But like I was saying, Samara, you know, when you get to a certain position in your career and you have access to certain people, venues, places, you can make things happen. And, you know, so the choir, my choir, you know, we've sung in front of thousands of people before. We've sung at massive events. We've visited the Royal Festival Hall in London. We go on cinema trips together. You know, it's because I think it's about creating a community, and when they're young, very much about creating a community where they are a family, and you know, and it's not just about the singing. It's not just about the singing. We also talk about our lives, where we are in our lives, and what's really great is the older kids might encourage the younger kids to do something, or they might help the younger kids with a situation they've got at school, because they've got that experience. So it's kind of like I'm trying to breed sort of like leaders, and also foster that the ability just to talk, because you never know, somebody else might have been in your situation before. And you know, when it comes to talking, you know, so the project that I've got coming up, I'm working with amazing producer Shamiza, who's based in Luton, and I live in Bedford. And we've been fortunate to get some money from Bedford Luton Community Fund, and that's talking about antisocial behaviour. And we're running workshops in Luton, Dunstable, and Bedford. So at the moment, we've got the Luton ones are happening at the moment, every Sundays. We've got 2 left in Luton, and then next year we'll be running workshops in Dunstable and Bedford. And the premise of that project is that it's a space where we're bringing women together to talk about antisocial behaviour. What is antisocial behaviour? How does it affect you? Because, you know, we're so closed and not wanting to talk about kind of maybe problems and challenges that we've had in our lives. And antisocial behaviour is something that's becoming more prevalent. And as a woman, at this time of the year, especially when it's dark, you know, we can feel quite, I'm not sure, should I be going down that street? Should I be walking around the park? You know, you might see a group of young people all huddled together, which may make you feel intimidated. And so what this project is about is enabling women to talk about how they feel and what they feel antisocial behaviour is. Is it something that's happening in your neighbourhood? Is it a neighbour? Is it at the park down the road? But then also we're giving them writing skills to write about it, how they feel. So whether they want to write a piece of poetry, a spoken word piece, it could be a monologue. And, you know, so we upskill them and give them writing skills, but then it's also a chance for them to talk and hear each other's stories, and also to find out how maybe you solved something that was to do with antisocial behaviour. You know, and I'm a great, you can tell, talking, yes, absolutely 100%. I love doing that. But let's do it in a really constructive way, and let's think about how we can upskill, you know, give people more skills. And my hope is that maybe somebody attends one of the sessions who's maybe not a writer, but then, you know, the writing part infuses them and it helps them. Writing is therapeutic. So many things in the arts are therapeutic. I work for a music charity. Music is therapeutic. Writing is. It helps you just brain dump and also process things that are happening to you. So I'm really excited about that project. We had a session on Sunday in Luton, which went really well. And the discussions, what we spoke about, was really rich and also heartwarming. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next lot.
That does sound really, really exciting. And
so we're going to see you there then, Samara.
You might. You may. No, it sounds really good. I mean, I've had issues with antisocial behaviour myself on a personal note. So it's not it's become so much, it's become so normal. I think it's become normalized that that's an issue. And I mean, I know we're speaking about women, but men deal with that too, you know, like it is men have suffered it, you know. But I've had issues with antisocial behavior. It's not pleasant, like you said about walking down a specific road. You second guess whether you should do so, and I just don't think that's how any person should live, you know. So I think it's quite an important thing that you're doing, actually, because whilst you're really highlighting something that's, it's quite serious, actually, because it can end in quite a serious way if it's not dealt with properly. But also then it gives people that are suffering in that way a sense of security in a situation, because then they come to a safe place, they come to this hub that you've put together that they can express themselves. Don't obviously, so from what Joe's saying, you don't have to be a writer, you don't have to have these skills essentially, but it's a skill you could actually build on without even realizing you could be a writer and you just don't know. You know, this could
absolutely
to awaken a skill in yourself that you didn't even know you had. So I'd always say and I'd always encourage people to think outside the box and don't put yourself in a box, you know, because it's really important. There's so much more to you than if you're a parent, if you think you're just someone in admin at work, if you think that you're just someone that does X, Y, and Z. There's so many layers to us as human beings. So don't put yourself down because you see writing, because you see singing, because you see certain things on the flyer. You know, if it's enough to say that you've suffered from antisocial behavior, if you've dealt with that, that's more than enough. That should be more than enough for you to just give it a go, I would say.
Yeah,
so
100%. And I think a couple of weeks ago I did a workshop for work where we worked with a group in Derby, and it was a songwriting workshop, and then we composed some music, and it was all about heritage. And there's a lady who rocked up and she said, "Oh, I'm really nervous about doing the songwriting. I can't write. I don't know how to write lyrics. I don't know how to compose music. And she was feeling really anxious, and you could tell. By the end of the session, she was like, I never knew I could write a song. She's like, my song's amazing. And I was like, there you go. Like you said, Samara, give something a go.
Yeah, always give it a go. You never know. You could find a new passion that you didn't even know was there. So definitely, I would never tell anyone not to give something an opportunity, like give an opportunity a go. I would definitely encourage anybody that's listening, if you feel like it's not you that could benefit from it, if you can send this over, you know, send over the flyer. Obviously, we just had it up, I believe. It was the poster that was up. Obviously, I know that stuff's getting shared far and wide anyways, but if you guys know of anybody that you feel could benefit from it, and it sounds like a good confidence builder too. You know, it sounds like something that could really grow your confidence. My daughter just started boxing now. She really didn't want to do that, I'll be honest. But actually, it's grown her confidence. So that's just an example. Something that you may not want to do, or you feel like, oh, that's not a bit of me. But actually, you give it a go, and it actually could work out for the greater good for you, because it's done that for my daughter. She did not want to do boxing. I had to just encourage her and say, look, you may not want to do boxing, but it's a good confidence booster. This girl, I can't get her out of boxing class on a Friday. She loves it. So that's just an example of that. Don't just look at something because, oh, this is not a bit of me. I don't think I'd gel well in something like that. Just give it a go. You never know. Ever. So always give things a go, I would say.
Yeah. And I'm the sort of person that will try anything once. So just try it once, like you said. Try it once. You never know. But, you know, it's also kind of, we're also teaching, letting people understand and know what antisocial behaviour is. It's that thing, fireworks late at night. That's antisocial behaviour. Your neighbours arguing all the time, making noise, you know, past 11 o'clock. Cars parked on the verge of a road. You know, that's a form of antisocial behaviour. There's so many things that we don't realise, that we probably don't put down and realise what that is, antisocial behaviour. But, you know, so many people don't know what you do about it. Who's responsible? Is it the local authority? Is it the police? You know, but then we also have that part where we can explore creatively how it makes us feel, which is also a really good release.
Yeah, I love that.
I think you find also a lot of people may realise it's antisocial behaviour, but will then, because they've always been told, oh, just let it go, it doesn't matter, don't worry about it. And then they say nothing because of that, because they don't think they're supposed to say anything about it, like the cars parked on the verge where nobody can get past and you've got to go into the road. You know, I think people just think, oh, okay, I don't know who to talk to, so I won't.
Yeah, so you just leave it.
You need to encourage them.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. It's true.
Wonderful. So your event, when's the next one?
Sunday. This Sunday.
This Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's 11 till 1. And it's just next to the venue. So I'm trying to think about the road.
Which venue is it?
It is, I'm just trying to think, I can't remember. So I just put my sat nav in, just directed, but it is on our flyer. The venues are on our flyer.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
I can't read that.
Who can read that?
I can't because I've got glasses on. Oh, here we go. Unit 3, Britannia Estates.
Oh, okay. Leagrave Road.
Yes.
Is that Leagrave Road, Shelley?
Yeah, that's on Leagrave Road.
Yeah.
Just before, so it's on your right hand side, just before you get into Berry Park Bridge itself. So
Yeah.
where Riley's used to be, where it was an old Skefco building.
Yes. That's another company that used to be in Luton, which is now gone, and the one up here is gone. We're not going down that road.
No, not today, because it's sad.
Yeah, so that's Leagrave Road, and that is on Did you say Sunday? Sorry, hold on.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, this Sunday and next Sunday. Then anybody in Dunstable will be at Dunstable Library, and that's from January, and that's the 11th, 18th, and the 25th of January. And then in January as well, Shemiza and I will be running workshops in Bedford, and we're going to do a whole day one for during the weekend. On a Saturday, I'll be doing a whole day one, and that will be, for anybody that just wants to come and do the whole course, sort of like all at once as well. And there'll be a great exhibition at the end where we'll hear audio versions of the stories that the women have written. And there'll be a display of different shoes, because it's called because of the title of the project. But yeah, it's just a really great way of gaining confidence, a new skill, and also finding more about your rights when it comes to antisocial behaviour.
Fantastic.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
Fantastic. Do you want to take the poster down, Shelley?
Oh.
I don't know how to do that. Right, so thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Emil. Both of you have got various different things going on. Make sure you share it with us, because we will then share it all on our platforms as well. And keep sharing it. Keep sharing it. Because actually, we do, like Samara said, we reach far and wide, up and down the country, even across the waters as well. So you just don't know who would be looking at it. And there could be something like somebody who's decided they're going to become a vegan, and they then want to try new recipes. So they're going to see yours. It might be somebody locally who wants to join Joanne's stuff as well, so so just share it with us. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Anything else you want to share, Samara?
Yeah, I just want to say, Emil, I think you're great too. I didn't have the chance to say so before I started to speak to Joanne. But yeah, I think you're great, and yeah, it's very admirable what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. I really enjoyed your interview with Joanne as well, and it's a shame I'm so far away, because that sounds like a great event that you're running. So, yeah, good luck with it all.
Emil, your recipe book is definitely a Christmas thing, right? I mean, people need to be buying that for Christmas presents, right?
Yeah, especially if you've got anyone that you know that loves baking or just food in general. It's definitely a good one. And it's only £8 as well, so it's under a tenner. So yeah.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So we're going to have both of you back on again at some point when you get your next book out. Joanne, when you've got other things going on, we'll get you back on as well. And I think that's it for today. We don't have anything else to share, do we, Shelley? Nope. Possibly? No, we don't. We don't have anything else to share. We will be back again next week, same time, 12 o'clock. And have a good week, and we'll see you then. Don't disappear, the two of you. Stay there. See you then.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.